Have you ever felt like giving up because nothing seems to work? In the heart of a deep jungle, a small village lay hidden among thick trees and winding paths. Life there was quiet, with birdsong and rustling leaves as the daily rhythm. In one simple house, a young girl named Emma lived, dreaming of a world beyond the jungle. Emma sat alone in her small room, staring at her computer screen. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard, but she could not type. She had tried so many times, but nothing seemed to work. Every email she sent, every idea she shared, ended in rejection. She felt invisible. She felt like giving up. She asked herself a question that burned inside her mind. Was all this effort worth it? Was she wasting her life chasing a dream that would never come true? She looked around her room. Bills were stacked in one corner, her small bed was unmade, and the walls seemed to close in on her. She had sacrificed so much. She had stayed late nights, worked extra hours, and pushed herself beyond her limits. Her mind drifted to J.K. Rowling. She remembered reading how Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers before Harry Potter became a global success. She thought about how Rowling kept going even when people said she would fail. If Rowling could survive so many rejections, maybe Emma could too. Emma took a deep breath and opened her email. Her heart raced. She had learned to expect bad news, but something told her to hope this time. She scrolled through the messages. Most were the usual rejections. She felt her chest tighten. Then she saw one email that made her stop. The subject line read, "We are interested." Emma stared at it. Her hand shook. She clicked on it and read the first line. Her heart skipped a beat. They wanted to discuss her project further. She could not believe it. She felt a rush of excitement, but fear followed quickly. She knew this was only the beginning. She remembered Thomas Edison, who failed thousands of times before creating the light bulb. Edison never gave up. He treated every failure as a step closer to success. Emma realized she had to do the same. One email did not mean victory. One opportunity did not mean she was done. It meant she had to work harder, focus more, and keep pushing. Emma's mind raced with possibilities. This could be the chance she had been waiting for, but it could also be another test. She knew she had to be ready for anything. She could not let doubt or fear stop her now. Every decision mattered. Every mistake could cost her everything. She took another deep breath and began planning her next move. Her determination was stronger than ever. She felt a fire inside her. She would not let this chance slip away. She would give everything she had. But just as she was about to respond to the email, her phone rang. It was an unknown number. She answered it with a cautious voice. A deep voice spoke on the other end. They said something that made Emma freeze in shock. The project she had dreamed about, the chance she had waited for, was not exactly what she expected. Emma hung up the phone, her hands trembling. The voice on the other end had said her project needed major changes. They liked the idea, but it was not ready yet. She felt a wave of panic. Months of work could be wasted. She thought about giving up, but something inside her refused to quit. She remembered Thomas Edison. He failed thousands of times before he created the light bulb. Every failure was a lesson. Every mistake brought him closer. Emma realized she had to see this the same way. This was not the end. It was just another step. She opened her laptop and began reviewing every detail. The feedback was harsh. Some parts of her project were completely rejected. Some sections needed rewriting. She felt exhausted, but she did not stop. She stayed late into the night making changes, learning new skills and correcting mistakes. Each correction felt small, but she knew they would add up. Days passed. Emma barely ate or slept. Her friends called to check on her, but she barely responded. She was consumed by her work. Every tiny mistake felt huge. Every missed opportunity felt like failure. She thought about Elon Musk and his rockets. Several of his launches had failed in spectacular ways, but he kept trying. Each failure taught him something new. Emma realized she had to adopt the same mindset. She worked on her project from morning until night. She tested new ideas, adjusted the plan, and learned skills she had never used before. Slowly, the project began to take shape. It was not perfect, but it was getting stronger. Her confidence grew, but so did the pressure. She knew the final presentation would decide everything. Emma felt fear. What if all this effort was not enough? What if her work was rejected again? She could feel the tension in her chest. Every day brought new challenges. She remembered how J.K. Rowling never gave up after rejection. She had to keep moving forward, even when the outcome was uncertain. One night, after making the last changes, Emma sent the updated project. She sat back and waited. Her heart raced. She stared at the screen for hours. Then a message appeared. It was short, simple, and clear. They wanted her to meet in person. Emma's excitement was mixed with anxiety. Meeting them could mean the project would finally succeed, or it could mean complete failure. She packed her notes and prepared for the meeting. She tried to calm herself, but her mind raced with possibilities. As she stepped outside, the phone buzzed again. She looked at the screen and froze. The message was not from the company. It was from someone she had never expected. The words made her heart stop. The next step of her journey would change everything. Emma stared at the message on her phone. It was from someone she had not heard from in years. The words were short, but they carried a weight she could not ignore. They said they had been watching her progress and wanted to meet immediately. Her stomach twisted. She did not know if this was good news or bad. The next morning, she arrived at the meeting place. It was a small office, plain and quiet. She felt her heart pound in her chest. She remembered Elon Musk and how he faced failures in public, but he never backed down. She told herself she could handle this too. Inside the office, a man greeted her. He was polite but serious. He explained that her project had potential, but there were many challenges. Investors were skeptical and competitors were waiting to take advantage. One wrong step could ruin everything. Emma felt a chill run through her body. The pressure was heavier than she imagined. She left the meeting feeling a mix of excitement and fear. She realized success was not just about getting noticed. It was about proving herself again and again. She thought about Oprah Winfrey, who faced poverty and obstacles before becoming successful. Every challenge she faced made her stronger. Emma understood that she had to do the same. Over the next few weeks, Emma worked harder than ever. She studied every detail, learned new skills, and prepared for the upcoming presentation. She faced setbacks every day. A computer crashed, a key idea failed, and a collaborator quit unexpectedly. Each problem tested her patience and determination. She felt exhausted, but she refused to quit. One evening, she stood alone in her room, staring at the nearly finished project. It looked perfect, but she knew perfection was not guaranteed. She thought about Thomas Edison and his light bulb. He had failed thousands of times, but he kept going. Emma repeated the same to herself. Every failure was a lesson. Every challenge was a step forward. Finally, the day came to present her project to the investors. Emma felt nervous. She knew that the outcome could change everything. She set up her presentation and waited for the investors to arrive. Her hands shook as she adjusted the slides. She took a deep breath and tried to calm herself, but fear lingered. The investors walked in, serious and silent. They started asking questions she had not expected. Emma answered as best as she could, but the tension in the room was unbearable. Each question felt like a test, and each answer could decide her future. After the meeting, they told her they would give feedback the next day. Emma left, her mind racing. She felt hope and fear at the same time. She had done everything she could, but the final decision was not hers. That night, she received another message on her phone. It was from an unknown number. The words made her freeze. They said something that could change the course of her project forever. Emma stared at the message on her phone. Her eyes widened. The words were short, but their meaning hit her like a shock. They said her project had been accepted, but there was a catch. She had to prove it could succeed within a very short time. One mistake could ruin everything she had worked for. She felt a mix of excitement and fear. This was the moment she had waited for, but it was also the hardest test of her life. She remembered Oprah Winfrey. She had faced rejection, poverty, and obstacles that could have stopped anyone. But she kept moving forward. Emma told herself she could do the same. She worked day and night. Every part of the project was examined and improved. She studied every detail, tested every idea, and corrected every error. Each day felt longer than the one before. She faced technical problems, delays, and moments of doubt. At times, she felt she could not continue. But she refused to quit. Emma thought about Thomas Edison and how he never gave up. Each failure was a step toward success. She repeated the same to herself. Every obstacle was a lesson. Every challenge was a chance to grow. She kept going, even when her body was tired and her mind was heavy. The deadline approached. Emma knew that everything depended on her next actions. She prepared her presentation and rehearsed every detail. She wanted to be ready for anything. She thought about Elon Musk and the rockets that exploded before success. Each failure taught him something new. Emma realized she was learning the same lessons. The day arrived. Emma presented her project to the investors. Their faces were serious. They asked questions, pushed her limits, and tested her patience. Emma answered carefully, keeping her focus. She gave everything she had prepared, but she knew the final decision was still uncertain. After the presentation, the investors left. Emma felt her heart pound. She had done everything she could, but the outcome was not yet known. She sat alone, feeling the weight of months of work and struggle. The tension inside her grew. Late that night, her phone buzzed again. Another message from an unknown number. She hesitated but opened it. The words made her heart stop. The message said that someone was trying to take credit for her project. Someone who could ruin everything she had worked for. Emma felt a chill. She realized that the biggest challenge was not just getting approval. It was protecting her dream from being stolen. She took a deep breath, knowing she had to act fast. Every second now counted. Her future, her work, and her effort were at stake. Emma knew this test would define everything. Emma could not sleep. The thought of someone trying to take her project kept her awake all night. She knew she had to act quickly. She reviewed every part of her work, checked the emails, and made sure everything was secure. Her hands shook with tension, but she refused to give in to fear. She remembered J.K. Rowling, who faced constant rejection before her books became famous. She remembered Thomas Edison, who failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. She thought about Elon Musk and Oprah Winfrey. Each of them faced obstacles that could have ended their dreams, but they kept moving forward. Emma told herself she could do the same. The next morning, she contacted the investors and explained the situation. She showed them proof that the project was hers, every email, every note, and every draft. She spoke clearly and confidently. She felt a mix of fear and determination. The investors listened. They asked questions and examined her evidence carefully. Hours passed. Emma paced back and forth, her heart racing. She had put everything on the line. Every mistake could cost her months of work, maybe years of effort. She took a deep breath and reminded herself that patience and discipline had brought her this far. She could not let fear take her down now. Finally, the investors smiled. They said they believed her. They promised to protect her project and support her through its launch. Relief washed over Emma. She felt the weight on her shoulders lift. Months of struggle, doubt, and sleepless nights were finally paying off. Emma realized that success was more than recognition or money. It was the lessons she had learned along the way. She had learned to be patient, to work hard, and to believe in herself even when no one else did. She had learned that waiting, struggling, and improving herself were the keys to turning dreams into reality. The project launched. People loved it. Emma received praise, offers, and opportunities she had never imagined. But what mattered most to her was the confidence she had gained. She could face any challenge now. She could survive failure, criticism, and doubt because she knew the power of persistence and patience. She remembered all the late nights when she felt hopeless. She thought about every small step that had led her here. Every rejection, every correction, every failure had prepared her for this moment. She smiled, knowing that her journey had shaped her into someone stronger, wiser, and unstoppable. Emma looked at her phone. Another message appeared. She opened it, expecting congratulations. But instead, the words on the screen made her blood run cold. Someone had learned about her success and they had a plan that could change everything again. Emma's heart raced. She realized her journey was far from over.